Good evening. I'm Shweta Mitra here. Um, I'm from Kolkata, the city of joy, and I'm pursuing MTech in under Calcutta University in Polymer Science and Technology. And I have a passion for teaching since the last 6 years, and I've been teaching under several online platforms recently, and it's a joy for me. And I like to shape young minds, and it will be a pleasure for me to conduct the classes with you. So, briefing out on me, I would like to just give you a short brief on what are the basic topics that we are going to cover under this course. This course is basically for ICSE mathematics, so we'll be covering all the chapters that are under class 10 level ICSE. So the first chapter under ICSE mathematics is compound interest. So here initially I would like to give you a basic concept of what you mean by interest. Okay. So interest is the extra money that a bank gives you for saving or depositing your money with them. Like when you um, go to a bank and you would like to keep your money safe, in that case, you might see that they pay you some interest. Okay. So that is the extra money that you get while you keep the money in the bank. So basically, these sums are regarding banking. Usually, uh, I think the students who are in class 10 now have already been aware of what is a simple interest. Okay, simple interest is something which multiplies itself after 1 year on the principal itself. Um, but compound interest is something which multiplies itself on the interest recurring every year or every period. Let me be a more specific about it. We know that simple interest
Continue, ma'am.
is equal to principal into rate into time by 100, where the principal is the amount of money that basically either you have kept in the bank, or you might have borrowed from the bank, or anybody might have borrowed from other person. That is the basic money which we are dealing with. Rate is the rate percentage by which the interest is being calculated. Okay, so rate can be 10%, 15%, it will be within 100% usually. And the time is the time period for which the money is kept or for which the money is borrowed. In case of simple interest, for the whole time period, the interest is basically calculated on the initial principal that has been considered. But in case of compound interest, we usually calculate the interest on the interest itself. Okay, the interest is calculated on the same amount of money in each period of time in case of simple interest, and therefore the interest earned in each time period is the same. On the other hand, in case of compound interest, it is calculated on the principal plus the interest of the previous period. Okay, so for example, let me give you an example. That is, I can see that I have maybe rupees 800 initially as my principal, and then I have rupees, then I have the rate of maybe 20% by which I fetch the interest, and the time period is basically maybe 2 years. Okay, so the principal here is 800 and the rate is 20% and the time is 2 years. So what shall we do in case of where can I get a new window? Hello, is anyone there?
Continue.
Hello.
Ma'am, continue, ma'am, continue.
Can I get a new window? Can you tell me how can I get a new window over here? Like I
Uh,
need a fresh page in the editor.
uh, Wait, ma'am.
আরে এখন খুলতে পারবো না, নিজেরা খুলে নিন, ফেলে দাও, এটা ফেলে দাও, বিছানায় পড়ে যাবে, ছুঁড়ে দাও না, আমি বসে আছি তো, আরে আমি বসে আছি, ছোড়ো, আমি দেখতে পাচ্ছি, হ্যাঁ ব্যাস ঠিক আছে।
See, ma'am, there is a eraser on the top.
Oh, we have to erase every time I write, is
Yeah,
it?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That is quite problematic. Uh, yeah, we cannot have a new window.
No, you can then you can better use the editor then.
If I use an editor, I'll not be able to write my formula properly.
Yeah, you will not be able to write. Actually, we have some tools, but to tell you about that, it would be a little complicated now.
Okay.
So you
Okay,
do.
then fine, it's fine. Like I'll be using the editor. It's okay. Okay, not a big deal. Okay, so we were in between a problem, right?
Yeah.
So we had considered P is equals to 800, and then we took R as 20%, and we had time is equal to 2 years. Let me first explain to you the scenario of a simple interest. In case of simple interest, we simply just put onto the formula P into R, sorry, P will be in caps, P into R into T whole divided by 100. So in this case, I can expect the answer like P is 800 into 20 into 2 divided by 100. So the answer in total comes out to be 32 and 0. It's rupees 320. 320. So this is the simple interest that we get if we give that money to somebody for lent for 2 years on a simple interest of 20%, or we borrow any money or we keep any money in the bank for 2 years at a rate of 20%. So that is the simple interest that we'll get. Now let us go to the concept of compound interest. What basically happens in compound interest is, for the first year, the principal will be 800. We'll use the same formula for simple interest over here, and we'll see how the answer varies. Principal will be 800. For the first year, the rate will be 20. And for the first year, the time will be obviously 1 because it is 1 year, divided by 100, which fetches us an answer 1600. Okay, 160. It will be rupees 160 for the first year. Now let us, in case of compound interest, we must be very clear that the amount for the first year, which is basically 800 plus 160 in this particular problem, 800 plus 160, which turns out to be 960. that is equal to the principal for the next year. So yes, that is the thing. So from the compound interest concept, it is very clear that the interest is calculated on the principal plus the interest of the previous year. So in this case, the principal was 800 and the interest for the first year was 160. So the principal amount for the next year is equals to 960. So basically, the principal amount increases with every time period as the interest payable is added to the principal. This means that the interest is not only earned on the principal, but also on the interest of the previous periods. Okay. So now let us find out what will be the final interest for the second year. Interest for the second year is equal to, here the principal is rupees 960 and the rate will be the same. And as we are calculating this for only 1 year, so the time period will obviously be 1 by 100. So the answer comes out to be to 192. Okay. If it would have been simple interest, then the rate of interest 20%, and for the time 1 year, the interest would have been same as for the first year. The second year interest and the first year interest would have been same. It would have been 160. But over here, we can see the interest for the second year has increased and it has become 192. So here we can easily conclude that the interest for the commencing years are not only calculated on the basic principal, but also the interest that has been fetched on the previous years. So the total interest earned, interest earned on rupees 800 for a period of 2 years at a rate of 20% compounded annually is equal to rupees 160, which is for the first year, and 192, which is for the second year. So cumulatively, it turns out to be rupees 2, 5, 3. It's 352, okay, which is rupees 32 more than the simple interest. Okay, you can see over here. See, rupees 322. The simple interest was rupees 322, and the compound interest calculated is rupees 352. So by this, we can easily understand that compound interest fetches more interest than that of simple interest. Okay, so we can say that compound interest is more than simple interest of the same amount of money deposited. And when the interest is compounded, the total amount that we basically get, the total amount, this we have calculated over here step by step by taking 1 year and the other year after the other. But if it is for a long period of time, for example, for 5 years or 6 years or 7 years, it is very difficult to calculate period by period. So in that case, we need a constant formula. And the formula is, we can just swipe on to the board, okay, so that we can easily see the formula. Here we'll be able to see the formula very well. Amount is equal to principal into, sorry, so sorry, okay, this is not working basically. I have to show it on the board, its editor itself. It has become, okay. I'll just give you the formula. The formula that I would like to show is
Ma-
yes.
is it done,
Actually,
ma'am?
yeah, I would like to upload the formula, but actually the editor is not quite like the board is not quite feasible. See, just it's becoming black mark all over. I'm trying to write the formula. Is there any way by which I can erase the complete thing that is written on the board without
See,
using the
see,
eraser?
see on the board there is a cross mark.
On the board, there's a cross mark.
See on the board when you go to the icon on the left side, there's a cross
Yes,
mark. Cross the board.
icon on the left side. There's a cross mark. I
See
can't
there's
get
a
any cross
editor.
mark.
Go downwards. There's a plus sign in the left side.
Yes, yes, plus sign.
See on the board there's a cross mark. When you click on the board,
Okay, cross mark. Yeah.
and
Okay,
then
I again open the board. Is
yeah,
it?
yeah, yeah. Just open the board.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much. Yeah. Okay, now I can show the formula. So the formula for the compound interest is A is equal to P into 1 plus R by 100 to the power n, where P stands for the principal, A stands for the amount after n periods, and R stands for the rate of interest. So in order to find the final amount that increases on CI or compound interest, we use this compact formula so that we don't need to calculate it again and again for the first year, second year, and the third year. So today in this class, we learned about the differences between the simple interest and the compound interest, how the simple interest and compound interest basically differ by formula and by type. Okay, where is the simple interest applicable and where the compound interest is applicable. And then finally we learn the formula to calculate the amount which we can get when we put a money P for compound interest for a period of n. Okay, so I would like to conclude my class today. I hope you enjoyed learning with me, and it was a great experience to teach you too. Thank you so much.